What's up, everybody? This is Jaleesa. I'm back. This is my first time doing a live video, so I am going to try to get to the point of why I'm here in the first place. Since I have trouble with building consistency in my YouTube, in my channel, I'm doing a live video to explain how I got here, where I'm going, and what is happening right now. So I left my job 3 years ago. In fact, it was January 2017, and I took an opportunity in travel healthcare because of many things that were happening in my life. I was not where I wanted to be. I was a few years, as I looked a few years in the future, I was like, man, I'm going to turn 30 in a few years, and I'm not where I really want to be in this life. I was working full time. Any shift that I could have wanted, I was not earning what I needed to earn to create the life that I wanted to live. And that was very depressing. That was heartache. That was very challenging for me. I had recently, before ultimately deciding to leave home in 2017, I lost my dad. My only parent left several months earlier. And I realized something leading up to the time of his passing was that he worked hard all of his life and pretty much had nothing left. I didn't want that to be me. I didn't want to work all of my life and get to 60, 50, or so on years old, and all I've been doing is working, and because my jobs don't pay enough, I have nothing left. That was not the kind of life that I intended on having when I went to college. But unfortunately, at 27, I was there. I realized it. I realized it before then, but I realized it and I hated it. And I was like, what am I going to do to turn my life around to live the life that I want to live? I worked in a hospital. I'm in healthcare. I'm wearing scrubs now. I worked every shift that there was, and I started out on night shift, moved to second shift thinking that would be better, moved to day shift thinking that would be better. And of all the shifts that I worked as a lab tech, throughout all the shifts that I worked, I was only able to earn over $1,000 net working a third shift over nearly 40 hours a week. That was not acceptable. That was just not acceptable for me. And I worked very hard in college. I worked very hard in my job. I worked hard leading up to the point of contention. I'm like, why am I not where I want to be in this life? And the reason why I wasn't where I wanted to be in my life was because I didn't make a personal plan to envision my life at 30, at 40, at any other age. All I was taught growing up and in college was focus on your career. What do you want to be when you grow up? This is what you want to be. And a lot of people do youth and their children a disservice by telling them to focus on what they want to do in life and not helping them dig into themselves and say, what kind of life do I want to live? If I want a life that is prosperous, that is going to provide for me and my family for long term, then there are certain paths that I need to take. Let's say, for instance, I was there. At one time, I wanted to go to medical school and I wanted to be a doctor. But guess what? I was not really trained academically that great to get where I wanted to be in order to perform well on standardized tests such as the MCAT, and it was a lot more work than I realized that I was not prepared for. I did work hard to try to get my scores up, but it just didn't work out. And you know what? That was okay, because as I continued to work and develop and grow in healthcare, I realized, you know what? I really don't think that I want to be a doctor, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't get accepted into medical school, and that was fine. What what I really have trouble with, um, as far as the work and the aspect of just the job that I left to start traveling, was I wasn't earning enough. Like, I had almost $30,000 in student loan debt, and I went back to school for another degree that would help me in healthcare. And then I added on more debt to what I had. That was that just was not the answer. Getting more debt was not the answer. So I decided that, you know what, I can't do this all by myself. I had pretty much nothing. I didn't own my own home. I didn't outright own my own car. So I had a car payment. I pretty much had nothing. And I realized, you know what? I'm regretting more of the things that I didn't do than the things that I tried and failed at. So that was when I decided, you know what? I'm going to make some changes and I am going to hit the road. So in 2017, in January, really in December of 2016, I was like, you know what? Something has got to change. It's about to be a new year. And I need to get where I want to be in life. I'm not going to be in debt. I'm not going to be in debt 3 years from now and struggling to make ends meet. I did not, that was not my intention in life. And I'm not going to be a prisoner of my own circumstances. Fortunately, I was single and I was by myself, and thankfully I did not have any children to take care of, or else I would have felt very stuck and unable to get out of my situation. And so I'm very thankful that even though some of the choices that I made were not the best in as far as career and planning, lack of backup plan, and backup plans that I made were not very great for long-term success. I am just really thankful that, you know what, there was a way out. And that is my message. Look for a way out of the situation that you're going through. What is holding you back from becoming and progressing into what you want long-term for your future? Now, today, here I am, it's 2020. 2017 was 3 years ago. So what did I do? Where am I now? What happened? In 2017, I started out the year with $34,900 in student loan debt. My car was paid off at that time. And actually, yes, that is my fault. I made an error in what I just said. My car was paid off by then, but it was very raggedy and I needed a new one. And so I made a terrible mistake of getting a car with an ex-boyfriend, and he pretty much left me high and dry with the car note. So fortunately, the car note was paid off and I was able to get on the road and start traveling for work without any serious obligations at home. That was pretty much it. I just had my things at home, my rental home, which I gave up in order to start traveling. Now, what am I going to say? Like I said, It was 2017. I started the year 2017. Welcome. Hello, whoever's here. Thank you for joining. Um, I started 2017 with $34,900 in student loan debt. In 2018, I paid most of that debt off. And here in 2020, I have no debt. I'm debt free, and I'm progressing closer to financial wealth and prosperity. So, is the American dream still possible in 2020? I personally think it is. The thing is, you have to create a life of intent and have the courage to be who you are. A lot of people don't have the courage to be who they are and pursue after what it is that they want. We become a prisoner of the circumstances that we're in. We're become a prisoner of, well, this happened, so this is what I have to do. Or let me be more specific. If you get kicked out somewhere and you end up homeless and you settle for homelessness, what kind of plan, how do you fix that? You fix that by making a plan to get out. So when I realized that I was not where I wanted to be, I had to make a plan to get out. Most serious lifelong plans take a few years to reach. For some reason, that is understood when it comes to college. You work hard, you earn good grades, and at the end of it, you get a degree. How willing are we as people to put in the work, the personal work, and get where we want to be financially, personally in 3 to 4 years? How willing are most people to do that? Be willing to make a change in your life, and you will be where you want to be a whole lot faster if you create a plan and work towards that plan every day. Every day, every week you get paid, every month you get paid. Your plan is in action. A lot of times we don't have the results that we want because we don't take the action that is necessary to get the results that we want. I could still be in student loan debt. I could still have a car payment from the second car that I got because I actually did get another car. I had to borrow money. I had to get a loan for it. But let's say, for instance, I was not, I didn't do anything, and I'm trapped and I'm stuck and I'm blaming everybody else instead of taking responsibility for myself and what I am able to do, what I am able to create, to produce, and get myself out of a bad situation. What is it that you're going to do to improve the way that your life is going? 75 million Americans make $31,000 a year or less. But the average rent in most places is $1,200 to $1,400. The average nationwide rent in America is that much. You tell me how $31,000 a year is going to pay for $1,200 rent. It's not going to pay a person by themselves with no kids. So how in the world is it going to pay for someone with kids and married? Those things are things that we had to think of. I realized that, you know what, I'm not going to be where I want to be earning this low amount of money because I'm in debt. And then if I wasn't in debt, if I wasn't in the hole in debt, I wasn't going to get where I wanted to be. So thankfully, I had the opportunity to take a travel healthcare job. I am in travel healthcare. I've been in travel healthcare since 2017. That is my fault. I did not mean for it to take this long for me to to explain what it is that I do and how I got into travel healthcare. But I wanted to make sure that I gave you the backstory as to why I ultimately ended up deciding to get where I wanted to be in this life. So I took an opportunity in travel healthcare. I have had about, I think, 6 assignments since 2017. I can do another video explaining how to get into travel healthcare, what to do, maybe even how it pays some. And yeah, but what I can definitely tell you, and what you can probably already infer, is that I earned more money. And so, fortunately, by taking this step, I was able to drastically improve my financial picture. And a lot of jobs are really going away due to artificial intelligence, or um, they're not producing at the same rate. 50 years ago, uh, 60 years ago, you could go and work a job for X number of years and you could retire and get a great pension. That's why you see so many people who worked in manufacturing, in car manufacturing in Detroit or the auto industry, and they retired and they had these great pension funds that they were able to live off of. Well, as millennials, Gen Z, we're not going to be able to do that. And most of people in Gen X are not going to be able to do that either. So what are we going to do to sustain ourselves? What are we going to do as a people? What am I going to do? What are you going to do to not be in the economic outhouse that is becoming America? Seeking opportunities wherever and however you can find them. I'm not even sure why so many people are still paying so much money for private school tuition, or private school tuition, or opportunities, careers that aren't paying. The future is technology. The future is math and science. Is all the things that most of us as Americans, we just don't want to do. For some reason, we don't like math, we don't like science, and I get it. I get it. Math was definitely not my favorite, but fortunately, I was able to get around that. But but yeah, I have been to various different states. My plan was to try to go to all 50 states at some point. I haven't gotten there yet, but I've just been enjoying the opportunity that I sought for myself. And sometimes we need a push in life. How are you going to use this recession to change your life 3 years from now? Because it can happen. Like, 2020 is a terrible year for a lot of us as Americans, but I am very thankful that the steps that I made when I went through my own personal recession in 2015, 2016, the things that I went through helped me get where I am today, and in a place of development, in a place of starting my own. So how is it that you are going to do that? Sometimes it's going to be starting a side business. It's going to be starting a side hustle. That is an excellent way to make a change in your financial picture. And even if it's just like saving a few extra $100 a month, like, who doesn't want to have $100 a month saved, an extra 100? Because emergencies happen, things happen, like COVID happened, and many are in a bind because we did not prepare. We did not prepare make the steps necessary to prepare for a rainy day fund, to prepare for long-term living expenses. There's so much that it takes to really live in the world right now in America. Like you got to have, like we see now, you got to have like 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. And so, fortunately, that's what the Dave Ramsey plan encourages. Now, once I finished paying off my debt, I did do that, but the baby steps kind of mm, lost in significance after the next step. Only because for me, only because I don't own a home and I don't own a home and I do not have children. So paying all debt except mortgage, that doesn't really apply to me. Saving money for a college expense fund, that doesn't really apply. I'm not really even sure what the future of college is now for children that are being born now that are going to go to college almost 20 years from now. I think personally, the game will change so much. It may not even matter what you save. So you may end up being able to use that money for something else, and they may not even really even have to go to college if they're learned and if they learn the right information early on in this life. And for the most part, I don't really regret going to college, but I kind of regret how I went. So that is pretty much it. I'm just really thankful for what has really transpired in getting making a change from a personal recession. So traveling enabled me to meet so many new people. I met some amazing people in the states that I was in: Michigan, Ohio, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., DMV area. This brought, like, traveling for work will put you in a different mindset for how to understand people. And you'll realize, like, how people see a lot of times the world in a small lens. And it's because they grow up in a certain place, they never leave their hometown, they don't really go anywhere, travel, and they have a very limited mindset. And so when you try to challenge people on that, they become offended. They turn it back on you as though you're the one who offended them or that you're being defensive. And it's like, it's a bigger picture. It's being able to see things from a bigger picture, a bigger mindset. I've worked with some very interesting people over the last 3 years. I will definitely tell you that. And so working with people, it will definitely make you think differently about how to approach, how to deal with issues. And I'm just really, I would do it again in a heartbeat. Like, traveling changed my life. It changed my whole perspective of how I view earning money and how to use money, how to use it as a tool. And like, I stopped with the Dave Ramsey steps, like after step 3. I am, invested into a retirement account at work, but that's pretty much it. Other than that, because I don't say I stopped, like I'm not doing the rest or I'm not doing any more planning and stuff. That's not it. Credit is a tool, and I use credit as a tool. So credit it's like, I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon of, oh, well, credit cards are bad and all credit cards are bad. You don't need to use any credit cards. And I'm like, no, that is not true, because I've never owned a home. And other than car payment, I am probably a risky, I could be seen as risky to lenders. It just depends on the lender. I'm using credit to leverage and be able to get where I want to go. Because if all that's on my credit report is student loans and car payment, like, that's just not enough. So using credit wisely is something else I learned in my travel journey. Working with people, how to work with people, how to work with all kinds of people, saving money, paying off debt, leveraging, using credit to my advantage. What else? What else? What else? What else did I learn? Um, long term saving, long term planning, looking out for my family. So pretty much, I have no brothers and sisters anymore. Well, I never had any brothers and sisters, but I don't have any immediate family. So I was working and developing all that I could for me. And if you are not putting yourself first or to somewhat degree in your life, if everyone else in your life is coming first, then what life do you have left? That doesn't sound like a life of fulfillment and a life of enjoyment. And that is why traveling worked so well for me, because I was able to kind of get into the mode of creating the life that I wanted. And this is the result. So thank you all so much for watching. I kind of rambled a little bit in this video, in this live, but nonetheless, I am really glad to kind of get this off my chest. I've been wanting to upload more consistently in the last few months, but because so many things change and because I am still in travel healthcare, my settings can vary. And so I finally realized, like, okay, I can set up a good setting here and finally do this. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and give me a thumbs up. And if you want to connect with me any further than now, you can follow me on Instagram at Juba Lisa. That's JUBI_LISA on Instagram. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye now.